Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to today's message. As usual, I would absolutely love to know who's joining in. So drop me a comment as you join, whether you are watching this live or if you are watching the recording. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. And today, what I want to dive into with you is what's happening in the world right this moment. So, of course, I'm here in Australia, so I'm definitely not in the midst of it, but it definitely took over all the channels, media channels here in Australia. So I have been following a little bit along with what's been happening in the States with all of the Republican protesting going on in Washington right now. Now, this is not going to be a political talk at all. I'm not into politics so much. It's definitely not my area of expertise. But what I am really fascinated with is relationship dynamics, not only on the individual level, but more on a global level. And I want to ask you guys, as you are joining, just to let you know, Facebook has shut me down until this weekend, until the 9th of January. So I probably won't be able to get out to many of you, but if you are joining and if you do find today's message of value, please do me a favor and share this message because I can't share it anywhere. And yeah, it's killing me a little bit, but I'm in Facebook jail, as they say. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is using the current example of what's going on, taking the politics out of it. I'm not trying to be on either side or anything like that, but what I am fascinated with and what I want to deliver for you guys today is an analysis of our human behavior and in particular relationships. And today's message, that's why I've titled it, Distrust Breeds Disrespect, Creating Distress and Disorder. And now we can look at this example playing out in Washington right now, right? And, or, I think it's dying off right now because I had the curfew and people are, going home or whatever. But basically, I'm not going to reiterate what's going on. I'm sure each and every one of you guys tuning in, unless you live under a rock, you kind of know what's going on in terms of this rally by the Republicans at the Capitol building in Washington, blah, 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 right? So what has happened and what I'm looking at and how I can see that we can apply watching this and analyzing what's at play and apply it to our own lives and actually get some value from it instead of just getting caught up in the hate and the aggression and, all the right and wrong and whose side are we on and, attack and defend and all this sort of stuff. When we can just get out of the political sphere and we can look at human nature and then we can see it playing out on this large scale and then we can backtrack as to what's going on for a human being, to be able to get to that place, right? To be able to get to a place where they are, getting aggressive or, breaking into areas, like just breaking, common, safety procedures or ways of being in the world, right? Or seeing this, disregard for other human life is what I actually saw. So I'll just tell you from my perspective what I witnessed over the last couple of hours as I tuned in from Australia to see what was kind of going on. And without, again, getting political or getting caught up in fake news or whatever, basically what I saw was an Australian woman journalist, reporting for our Channel 9 here in Australia. She was getting absolutely attacked. She was just literally standing there trying to report just what was going on. She wasn't being political. She was just, doing her job, right? As reporting what exactly was going on, what she could see was happening, right? And basically there were a lot of people who were getting really angry and aggressive, trying to intimidate her, stand over her. She was a small, blonde woman, Australian woman, right? Just kind of trying to do her job. And And basically, she had, a lot of people just attacking her. And I actually feared for her a bit, because it wasn't good, what was going on for her. I couldn't believe the courage it would take to actually go into that environment and stand there and present and do a job as she's getting over and over again attacked and intimidated from every angle, right? And it just got me thinking, how we can so disregard humanity, right? We can treat people in these certain ways. And basically the underlying thing that I feel we can apply to ourselves in our own relationships is distrust. If you don't have trust in any relationship, no matter if it's an intimate friendship, family, political, whatever, right? If you don't have trust, you got nothing, right? It is why I guard trust with at the highest degree, in whatever interaction I have with anybody. For instance, when I connect with somebody I first meet and they want to share with me what's going on in their life on a really deep level, I make sure that I let them know how much I really value and don't take it lightly, the trust they put in me to be able to share so openly, right, about private matters, right? And if I was to break that trust, there would be no respect and I wouldn't be able to ever support that person, right? The same thing is on a high degree also, I think, in intimate relationship. In the new relationship that I've been in, basically that's been my main focus, to focus on upholding real deep trust, deepening the trust level as the foundational platform that we can actually excel from. And that means, not doing even the little things that could potentially break that trust, right? There's a lot of importance on that. And what we're seeing in this example that's happened today, basically, and it's not just today, right? I'm just focusing on this one example. Basically, what we're seeing is the residue of distrust, because there's been a lot of us against them, a lot of accusations, a lot of things that break people's trust in those larger governments or political parties or whoever, on both sides, everywhere. Again, I'm not being political here. I'm just talking about this as an example. And basically, the trust has been broken. And what happens when there's no trust is it leads to a disrespect. And it leads to a need, a real drive to protect our team, right? To protect ourselves from this other party or person or group of people that have broken our trust from our perspective, right? We can't trust them, so we don't respect them. And then what that ends up doing is creates a whole lot of distress in that dynamic, in that relationship. And what we're seeing, it leads to this disorder, right? Where people break the rules to prove a point, but endanger other lives because they're not on their so-called team, right? They're on the team or on the other team that they don't trust. Now, if we look at this in just breaking it down into our own lives, and we look at any of our relationships, basically what we can see is if I'm in relationship with you and I do something that breaks your trust, right? You are at a point right now where you might, depending on your scale, right? We're all a little bit different with this, but you might decide, you know what? I can't trust you, Vanessa, right? And because I can't trust you, I don't respect you. Right? And now, because I feel unsafe with you, because I can't trust you and I don't respect you because I don't trust you, basically from here, I'm feeling really distressed in our dynamic. I'm feeling like I have to protect, I have to put up a defense with you, right? And so now we've got these this guarded, dynamic at play. And what it ends up doing is leads us to a disordered relationship, right? A disordered connection, right? And that, it really just chucks, to me, the potential of relationship is just killed, right there and then, right? If you don't have trust, you don't have respect, you're just getting defensive, and that's leading to that distress and that disorder. What are you doing, right? Like, if you continue on down that path and just kind of operate in those same realms like most people do when trust is broken, when there's disrespect and there's that disorder and that disconnection, basically, if you keep doing that, like, what's the point? It's wasted energy. And what needs to happen is a realization of what's at play, what's causing this distress dynamic. And it's pointless to go on, right, as things are at that place. There needs to be a repair. Now, the repair, depending on how much trust has been broken, for how long, and who the individuals are and how they respond to that, it's going to shift and change, and it's going to determine whether that's going to be a relationship that can be regained, right, at a high level, or whether it's something that, it's broken beyond repair. And so what I feel we're seeing right now, again, not trying to be political, but to get to the point where we are today, where America is in this situation that's unfolded this morning, that's taken years and years and years and years, right, of broken promises, of a distrust, of, building of the teams, the defenses, right? And this is what happens. It's anarchy, right, where nobody can be trusted in this dynamic. And it becomes more of a power play at different times, right? And that's exactly what happens in our intimate relationships or any other relationship that we have in our personal life. If we break trust, it eventually leads to disrespect, which eventually leads to us, when we have that distrust and the disrespect, our defenses go up, and then it becomes a me against you dynamic. There's no team, right? There's just power hungry people, right? That's what we turn into. We just want to win, right? In order to win, we're not seeing a win-win because we don't trust and respect the other player. What's happening is we want to win at all costs. We want to win and them to lose. And that kind of dynamic, it breaks my heart, to be honest with you, because what inspires me the most is when people actually come together, when people with diverse perspectives can appreciate and respect one another and learn from one another and co-create and enhance each other's lives, like co-create something bigger and better than what they could if they stayed in their own small perspective on the world or on on the world, right? And so that's just the theme that I'm seeing. I hope that it resonates with you guys right now. I just think that's what I was seeing. I was looking at the human dynamic and how that was like a global example of what can go on for us on an individual level, right? And so, and you can even see this within yourself, right? It's not just in relationship with others, it's also in relationship with self. If we make promises, if we set intentions for ourselves and we break those promises, we don't fulfill on those intentions, what happens is we start distrusting ourselves. That's why we can't make decisions, right? And when we distrust ourselves, it leads to, I can't even respect myself, right? I don't respect myself because I don't follow through on my word, right? I'm constantly breaking my own trust. And so therefore, I don't even respect myself. And what does that lead to? It leads to internal distress, chaos, and disorder, right? That's why the work that you can do to prevent circumstances playing out right now in the States is to start with yourself. Build trust within yourself. It is the foundation for you to be able to trust others. Because the real thing is, I don't know if you've thought about this before or experienced this before, but one of the biggest realizations I've had in my life is if I'm really distrusting of others, right? It's just kind of a general overflow. I'm just distrusting of others. What that really means is it's more of a reflection of my lack of trust within myself. Okay, now what does that mean and how does that look? I deal with so many people who have what they would say, quote unquote, trust issues in their relationships, or the partners of those people who struggle with having a partner who's really distrusting, and always questioning, right? And they feel like they're trying to do their best, but they can't ever win with this person. Really what that is, when I work with somebody who really struggles to trust external sources, what I do is obviously clear the past. We work through what's created that pattern for them. But then what we do is we work on building the trust within the self. Because if you're distrusting of somebody, say an intimate relationship that you think could cheat on you, for instance, right? What you're really saying is, I don't trust myself to be able to handle whether that thing happens to me or not. Right? Because at the end of the day, you're not in control of anything anybody else does outside of you. So that's the gamble, that's the risk that we take when we enter into any sort of relationship with another person, and particularly an intimate relationship. We're taking a risk, right? But what we're doing, the ones who are able to take that risk despite the fear are the ones who have enough trust within themselves to be able to handle whatever life throws at them that's out of their control. And it's oftentimes we don't enter, say, a relationship because we don't trust that somebody else might not cheat on us or whatever. That's less of a reflection of them and more of a reflection of not trusting ourselves to be able to handle it. And so we want to take it all the way back like we have today, right? Looking at this thing on a global, thousands of people operating in this way because of a distrust leading to disrespect, leading to me against them defenses, leading to that distress and that disorder. We want to take that back. Okay, what relationships in my life? What groups in society do I not trust? Do I not respect? Do I feel defensive against? Do I feel distressed about? Right? And then we take it back again. We take it back to our relationships, our family relationships, friendships, intimate relationships. Work on that, right? And then basically we want to lead it all the way back to our relationship with our own self. And if you are somebody who is struggling with self-trust, struggling with self-respect, like that's the place that you want to start. Because what we see on a global scale is that human pattern exasperated, magnified. As Jeff Brown, I heard him say in one of my interviews with him, he mentioned that what we can see at different times is on a global scale where people push against authority, it's often just a reflection of their own relationship with authority that hasn't been healed, right? And so they haven't got themselves in order. So they're continuing the disorder externally from them, and it's taking them further and further away from the work that they need to do within as well, right? So anyway, you guys know I go off on these rants. Like I said earlier, Facebook has put me in Facebook jail until the 9th. So I can't share any of these messages. So I would greatly appreciate if you find value in any of the messages to share them. That's such a gift that you give to me, and thank you for all of you guys who already do that. But just wanted to state that. And also for those of you who are finding yourself struggling with trusting yourself, struggling with respecting yourself, I would invite you to download the free guide that I created for you guys if you haven't already. And it is the 7 proven steps to maximizing your self-belief, right? Because when you believe in yourself, you trust yourself, you respect yourself. It's all interconnected, and you can get access to that free PDF that I created for you guys at my website, vanessajanepatrick.com. So let me check in with you guys and see who's been able to join. But I've got DV. Hi V, hope all is well. It is, and I hope it's well with you too. And Bill's here as well. And Ty, love to hear from you. Love to have you here, my friend. Great always to see you back. I love it when I get to see you guys coming back again. And Laura's here as well. And Jose. Hello to you, Jose. Great to see you back. And Tammy, much love to you. And Giannis. And Jose from the USA. It's got a ring to it. I like it. And Thomas and Bill, much love to you, my friend. And Thomas from Oregon, USA. Great to have you. And Giannis, Calimera. They are coming chances. I don't know what you mean there exactly, but I love that you're sharing something. But yeah, clarify if you'd like to. I'd love to know what you're pointing to. And Luke, yes, it has been clearly demonstrated today. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it's very difficult to follow through on any sort of direction from any sort of source that you don't trust and you don't respect. You know, so it's more about reestablishing the trust, and that takes time. That takes action, right? That takes change. That takes reassurance. That takes showing up over and over again. That takes acknowledgement of what hasn't worked, what's gone wrong, all those sorts of things, right? There's a lot of work to reestablish trust and respect. It's huge. That is why I want to just highlight you know, for you guys out there, particularly say if you're single and you are, you know, maybe going to find a partner, the love of your life, whoever, and you're establishing new relationships, really hold this piece really strong. Like, do not do anything, even on the smallest scale, to break trust. Make the trust that you have with another person the absolute priority in that dynamic, okay? And you know, and I say this and I stress this because so many people in, you know, the dating world or in relationships, they tend to play these little games, right? And, you know, dating coaches might tell you to play the games and use the strategies. But like that stuff personally would not ever work on me, right? Because I'm so clued into, can I trust this person? Are they being authentic? Are they being open? Or are they playing games? And if anybody's playing games, I'm not getting the full picture, right? I can't trust that person if they're not being themselves, right? And so, so to build it from the beginning and to resist the urge to play any sort of game, to, you know, do what other, you know, some people would teach you to do, right? In the dating realm. Anyway. That's a whole nother topic. Maybe we'll touch on that another day. If you guys are interested, you can let me know. But love it. Thanks, Luke. And Arlen is here as well. And Ram, hello to you, my friend. Much love. And Andre and Edgar, always sending love from Chihuahua, Mexico. And I'm always sending love right back at you. And Dennis, I'm embarrassed for the crazy on both sides. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and another message out of this one is, don't mistake extremism for the whole, right? Because that's how I look at it. That's what I look like. If there's over 300 million people in the USA, and this is representative of a few thousand people, it's like a tiny little minority in the whole scheme of the country, right? It's extremism in a way, right? I don't know. Again, I might be getting political where I don't belong, right? But you know, if we look at that, I look at it like, again, you know, I'm saying some kind of controversial things today, but looking at Muslims being mistaken or generalized for the actions of ISIS, right? The extremists. It's like, you know, we can't just, because that's what human nature is, to get terrified and scared of something that's different and extreme. And of course, what gets publicized is extremism, right? That's what makes the news. And so it's really easy. I know I've spoken to a lot of people here in Australia who just think, you know, they're like, oh my God, Americans are crazy. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of family in America, so, and a lot of connections, a lot of clients, a lot of, you know, and I've been there many times throughout my life, you know, and lived there for periods of time. So I have a little bit more information on that, right? But it's very easy for a lot of us, it's just human mentality to go, they're crazy, never going to go there, right? But it's just this tiny little minority. So we can't generalize when we see examples of this. And to get angry, right? And to, stress your point or whatever, it's just wasted energy. The real change starts with analyzing human dynamics in a situation like that and applying it to our own lives like we're talking about today, and taking it all the way back to our relationship with self, which is ultimately the foundation to all other movings on from our perspective and our journey throughout our lives, right? It's the relationship with self, then into the relationships outside of us and further out to the global level as well. But if you want to see change, if you want to mitigate, horrible dynamics that, aren't humanity's best, if you want to make some change with that, then it's corny, but it starts with you, right? And that's where your real power is, and all other energy directed into telling other people what they should or shouldn't do without really making a change and really connecting to yourself. It's a whole lot of wasted energy. It's like people who buy a gym membership and never go to the gym. They kind of feel good that they have the membership, but they're not actually doing anything with it, right? It's wasted energy, but it makes them feel good. But it's a delusion, as we know. So absolutely, Dennis, me too. And David's here, and Lisa and Jose. Now in times, trust is a rare diamond. Many relationships have been broken because there is not trust. Absolutely, Jose. And like coming from you guys who've been following me for a while now, you know that I've had some real ups and downs, and my major challenges have oftentimes come from my naivety, because I'm a very, very, very trusting person. And basically, I've had some situations happen to bring me back into balance. So I'm more wise. I'm not totally naive. I'm not totally skeptical, but I'm just wise and informed a little bit more. I still got a way to go. But I think it's really a beautiful place to be when you can be very trusting. Be trusting of people. My perspective on it is to trust until trust is broken or they show you otherwise. Other people's safe zone is to not trust until that's proven to you that you can trust them. Whatever floats your boat, right? Whatever works most healthily for you. But the idea is, remember, the more distrusting we tend to be as an overall blanket on every dynamic that we have, it's really less of a reflection on the external world and more of a reflection of our own relationship with self, and also very much probably connected to experiences that you've had in the past that you haven't actually cleared, that you haven't actually navigated, all right? And the more trusting we are within ourselves, the more able we are to put our trust in others, which is always a risk, right? But remember, when we are able to do that despite the risk, it's really because we can trust ourselves to be able to handle whatever happens. All right. So that's a really good way of pinpointing your level of trust within yourself. So I'm with you there, Jose, absolutely. And Vivian's here as well. And Bill, there's no moral authority anymore in America. People in America don't trust politicians, religious leaders, corporate media, and all authority. All summer, big cities were looted and burned without consequences. Today was just another day. Absolutely. And it's heartbreaking, right? Because it's not changing. Right? Like, Bill, you're the expert here, right? Like, you live in America, you're in touch with what's going on. And basically, that it's a scary thing, because what is actually improving in this realm? Like, how are we reestablishing trust? How are we reestablishing respect? There's been a lot of years, with a lot of broken promises, a lot of, things go wrong, it's a state of anarchy now. And my hope is that it improves. But I know, just even on a personal level, to be able to establish trust and respect within oneself, let alone to be able to repair that within a relationship if it gets broken, in family relationships. And then you think about on a global scale, you think about with politicians It's like, it's a big job, right? But again, like, we want to take the power back into our own hands and be our own authority on ourselves, but also be very mindful about what we're doing, right? And what we're doing has an impact. What's the impact that it has as well? So yeah, it's very disheartening when you get caught up in the things that you can't control, and you will gain back your empowerment and your sense that things can be better when you start train the focus towards yourself. Okay, so love that, Bill. Thank you so much for sharing. And Jerry's here as well. And Bill, a total absence of self-love. That's what's so heartbreaking. But the worst part is the lack of self-awareness around that, right? It's still like, hey, you guys need to make us feel better, right? And I'm at the risk of getting too political here, but I did hear one thing Trump said in response to this was, you guys are so special, right? And I could just see what's at play, like like these extremists, what it appears from, non-informed, kind of just seeing some news, right? Like no expertise here, but what I perceive it as is lost individuals who've been pushed down over the years, their communities, and now they have a spokesperson or, something that they feel they can win with, right? And they're made to feel significant, and they've felt so insignificant for so long. It's no wonder that all the pain of the past, all the fighting back towards authority, all the lack of self-love, self-respect, self-trust has gone out, it's all magnified into these situations that we're seeing on a global level, right? So yeah, totally true, Bill, absolutely. And Chandri is here as well. Good to see you, my friend. And Edgar, we need to live by the heart and be authentic and transparent. By this way, we can trust each other. Absolutely. But it's scary, right? To live from the heart. It takes a lot of work within yourself to be able to trust yourself enough, to be able to respect yourself enough, like Bill said, to be able to love yourself enough, to be able to openly be intimate with other people, be open, be authentic, and you're so totally right. That's the pathway. But what is everybody trying to do? They're trying to find the magic pill that will save them from the work that is necessary, right? Everybody's trying to handball the responsibility of, their fulfillment and what's scary to other people, rather than do the work and operate in the exact way that you just said there, Edgar. Absolutely. And Dennis, we live with politics. We must trust and love each other. Perfect chat. Thanks, Dan. Awesome. Thank you, Dan. And also, yeah, I second that. Absolutely. Trust and love and openness. And, you guys are all leaders, right? You're all leaders. You're leader of your own life, first and foremost, and the leaders of the people that are around you, that you get to connect with, that you love, right? And so, you owe it, as playing the part that you are in this world, to build a very self-trusting, self-respecting, self-loving relationship with yourself and overflow that into the world, right? With courage. That is the greatest strength, to be able to do that. It takes no energy or effort to be in defensive strategies, right? You're taking no risks with that. And that's definitely the pathway, exactly like you're talking about there, Dan. Awesome. And Bill, if everyone truly loved themselves, there would be none of this. So beautifully put. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jose, you have a good point. We can't control the others. Trust and believing ourselves is the basis to build a confident lifestyle. Well put, my friend. Absolutely. Just realize that. Because to me, that was just like a huge breakthrough, with a lot of clients that I've worked with. And I remember realizing that. I remember realizing that, you know, your ability to trust others is actually a direct reflection to your ability to trust in figuring it out or being able to handle, you know, whatever comes your way that's totally out of your control. Like, that's life, you know. So, and it's very empowering to realize that and to stop trying to find people you can trust or find and nitpick in terms of why you can't trust them, right? You're the common denominator with those relationships. So love that. Awesome, Jose. Thanks for sharing. And Dennis, thank you so much for sharing this message. I so appreciate it. And DB, love them. Thank you, V. Great message. Grateful that this resonated. And Edgar, by doing inner work, shadow work, and healing your trauma, you contribute to heal the collective trauma and create a better world. My friend, you just put into words my mission in this world, right? That's what I love to do, is to help individuals heal from their past pain so they no longer project it into the external world, and particularly onto the people closest to them, right? So that we can have an impact globally and collectively. So Edgar, so beautifully put. And Chandre, I think I'm saying your name right. I have no idea. Your words and way of communication is really persuasive. Best wishes. I'm grateful that this hit home for you today, my friend. Thank you so much for those kind words. And Sophia is here as well. And Chandre, what should we do if you disrespect yourself and it's causing anxiety? Great question. And I appreciate you showing up today. So what I would say is, if we do not respect ourselves, it's because we don't trust ourselves. Okay, and so what we need to do is start with small, easily attainable ways in commitments that we can make to ourselves that are healthy for us and follow through consistently. We have to re-establish trust first. And when we are able to follow through consistently on our own word with, again, small, easily attainable, healthy things that you could do on a daily basis that you commit to and go, for the next 7 days, every single day, I'm going to do 5 minutes of meditation when I wake up, because I know that's healthy for me. I'm making that healthy intention for myself and I'm committed to it. I'm going to be consistent across my word, right? And once we do that, what happens is because we follow through on our word, because we can trust ourselves, we end up building respect for ourselves simultaneously. Because we're doing healthy things for ourselves consistently, following through on our word and our own commitments to self. And that, notice, remember I said easily attainable things. Don't go and write 20 things that you're going to do every single day as this big ritual list. Just pick one easily attainable thing you can do consistently for the next 7 days to begin with, and follow through on your word. Consistency is key. Follow through on your word. You'll re-establish trust within yourself, which will lead to you respecting yourself, particularly, of course, if you're doing healthy things for yourself. All right, so hope that helps you, Chandre. Thank you so much for the question. And Chetty is here as well. And Bill, I'm optimistic that love will eventually win out. And I love your optimism, and I second that as well, my friend, absolutely. And Playful is here as well. So that is my message for you guys today. I hope it's a value. As I said, if it was a value, please do share it, because I can't. And I'd love this message to get out to other people as well as you beautiful souls. And what else? Oh, and then go to my website, vanessajanepatrick.com, for your free download of the 7 proven steps to maximize your self-belief, all in conjunction with trust and respect, right? It's all interconnected. So hope that serves you. And Jose, thank you very much for your enlightenment today. Trust is the word to meditate tonight. I love that, Jose. And thanks for showing up. And I so appreciate each and every one of you guys for co-creating this space. I love your wisdom that you share. I love the comments that you make and contribute. I love the questions that you ask. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys, if I can talk properly. And also I just wanted to make a note of, yesterday was the first day that I had a bunch of different calls with you guys, as in the end of the free guide that I put together for you guys on self-belief, I made an offer to give you guys a free 30-minute session to explode your self-belief, and me get to work with you individually for free. And I have met some exceptional souls. I just want to get that out there. You guys, you know who you are, who I got to meet yesterday. You guys are absolutely exceptional. Such an honor to get to connect with you guys. I love when I get to meet you guys personally. So if that's of interest to you, I still have some sessions over the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not sure, I'd have to check my calendar. But there are some sessions there available. It's just a short-term offer that I'm doing for you guys because I want to meet and connect and see how I could help you personally break through. So make sure you take me up on that by downloading the guide, and the link is at the end of the guide there for you. That's it from me today, guys. And my reminder each and every time we connect is to go out there and honor your authenticity, deepen your intimacy, and contribute your gifts meaningfully and purposefully. Thanks again for showing up. So much love for each and every one of you guys, and I will see you very, very soon.